ask me as an HR or me as a person, as I said, I'm more of a people person, and most of the times people in HR are always trying to sell jobs, but I don't sell jobs. I sell them dreams and a path to achieve it through career opportunities. Because I always feel that if someone is happy in doing what they are doing, or they're loving it while they are doing it, so the productivity, the commitment, the involvement of that particular person will be very, very high.
Hi and welcome to another episode of the People Hum interview series. This is your host Neha at Leaders Hum.
People Hum is an end-to-end, one-view, integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award that's specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the People Hum blog and channel that receives more than 400,000 visitors a year, and we also publish several interviews with well-known names globally every month. We have with us today Mr. Abhijit Puri. Abhijit is the president of HRIA, HR Infotech Association, Pune. He's also the HR head at QLogic Technologies. Having the right combination of skills and relevant 18 plus years of experience in handling the entire gamut of HR functions, he specializes in strategic HR management, talent acquisition, talent development, organization development, compliance, employee relations and engagement, and much more. He was also invited as a guest speaker at the Indian Institute of Management, Sambalpur, for giving a guest lecture on role of analytics in human resource management.
Welcome Abhijit, it's a pleasure to have you here at People Hum.
Thank you, Sneha, and for inviting me. I'm really happy and excited to be a part of People Hum today.
So,
I believe it's a wonderful day, and I'm really happy to share that day with you.
Thank you. So, to jump right into the interview, the first question that I want to ask you, Abhijit, is can you tell us a bit about your work as HR head at QLogic Technologies?
QLogic is a technology-driven product engineering company. We deliver world-class software products which are scalable and which are also maintainable through their life cycle. So, as a HR head with QLogic, my role is not only limited to one specific aspect, but it is the whole HR gamut that I've been handling, from talent management, talent acquisition, L&D, people management, strategic aspects of it. Then it can be more related to employee engagement, retention, then recruitment, as well as delivery aspects of it a little bit on those areas, and operations part of it. So when it is more involved of people, that is where I believe I come up as a leader of a people manager person, because I am more into people aspects towards things throughout my career or throughout my life. I've been into it. I always have seen to it that any organizations or any teams, whoever want to scale up or want to achieve success, the core aspects of it are people.
Absolutely.
And in QLogic, that is what we believe in. QLogic is people of hand-picked individuals, where we look after people who are more involved into not only about technology work or anything, but also about cultural fitment. That is the key aspect when we are doing any kind of hiring with QLogic.
So what you spoke about, I find very interesting because the more we look at companies that are into technology, and the more that HR personnel are inside those companies, it's brilliant to see how they work along with that technology to bring out the best that is in the people. So that's definitely very interesting. So to come to ask you the second question, so you hold expertise in talent acquisition. So my question to you is, how do you feel that talent acquisition has changed over the years? So being somebody who has been in the field for a long time, have you seen any changes in the trends or the patterns? What is your take on it?
Yes, it has. I must say it is not just changed in small bits and pieces, but it has changed drastically. Let it be the name terminology itself. Talent acquisition, earlier it was not as talent acquisition, it was mentioned as recruitment. Yes. And then it has been evolved or evolving into the talent acquisition or talent management aspect of it. Then when it comes to talent acquisition or management, how it is different from recruitment. So it is not earlier like we had to just fill up some positions or a role or a job to be fulfilled. But now it is more of a career progression, and we have to look from the profitability of the organization and the businesses to run in the future as well. So talent acquisition is more now involved from the job requisition gathering to even the career enhancement of that particular candidate that we are going to hire, and then make it further towards their career growth for a long-term tenure of that resource to be there associated with the organization. If you look at the earlier stages when we at our era, that was we were only having limited portals like Naukri for India
Yeah,
specifically. Naukri and Monster was the only two portals that we used to look for. LinkedIn was very limited, though it was not that popular in India. But later, over the period of time, now it has been so drastically changed that people are available throughout on all kind of social media platforms as well. And recruiting has become not just sourcing of a resume, but also connections. And in today's world, connections are the biggest assets of any recruiter that they hold together. So I feel that over the period of time, the technology, the processes, the way we used to recruit, everything has been changed, and it gives a perspective for an individual recruitment person or talent acquisition person to even look beyond the roles and the capabilities of that person towards their social well-being, towards their cultural fitment of the organization, and even towards more how the person is within as an individual or within teams. So those all things matter a lot, and it is the game changer right now are social media platforms, what I am seeing together. And the connectivity that within a fraction of a second, we can connect to thousands and millions of candidates. Earlier, the strategy of hiring was to screen. One recruiter usually used to take 30 seconds to 60 seconds to screen one resume thoroughly. So imagine the kind of applications are there, and right now if you look at the technology like artificial intelligence coming in place, lot of softwares coming in place, with that you can screen the resumes in one go, and it can give you even the ratings which are the best resumes, which are actually how much percentage of fitment the candidate is for that particular role. So technology has really changed, and the recruitment, the way we used to do talent acquisition is also changed.
It's wonderful to see how the difference between the term recruitment that was being used earlier and the term talent acquisition, because not only do we realize that the changes happen because of the change in the kind of people that exist now, but also aside from that, over the past year, the difference that we've seen, how we've seen that employees know what they want from their organizations and have what it takes to actually ask for it. So I feel like talent acquisition is definitely a better term than recruitment. Absolutely. And it's definitely much more interesting to see how all of this plays out. So thanks a lot for that.
Yeah. So see, earlier talent acquisition again, it was limited to particular cities, right? Let's say metro cities in India or globally. But now a person who's sitting in tier 2 cities or multiple other different locations, remote locations also, are able to do the job.
Yes.
So the competition has also changed over here.
Absolutely.
And with the current scenario of pandemic and all, it has totally wiped out all the thought processes that everyone, the strategies that all the people had, the leaders had, and multiple organizations had about the hiring processes has changed a lot. This has become the opportunities are knocking at the candidate's door like anything. Because just imagine, now we are sitting in Mumbai, right? So people who are there from different remote locations of India, and if there is a job opening for you in Mumbai, they are able to work remotely.
Yes.
So it is easier, and the pool of candidates also has increased, but the volume of positions that candidates are getting is really high. In the IT sector though. But when it comes to the manufacturing and other sectors, it can be a bit difficult.
So when we talk about employee engagement, it has been approached differently and very diversely in the past. But now that we are in the new normal, and the very definition of what it means to work, let alone engaging employees, has changed. So what would you say is how has the definition of engaging employees changed, and how would your approach towards it?
Okay. See, currently there were cases of work from home. Earlier there were options for work from home, but it was not like this that everyone is working from home. Limited people
Yes.
due to some, let's say if someone had some emergency or something, at that cases were allowed. But this pandemic has opened up the opportunities for multiple people from different cities, locations, and all. And due to this pandemic situation, everyone are working from home.
Yes.
So this has been an aspect where not only the HRs but the management and even the delivery managers, even every of the employee, it is very different for them to absorb or to adopt towards it. But at the initial stages when everyone were working from home, everyone was excited that wow, I'm gonna get me time, I'm gonna get my family time and all. But slowly that got changed and people started feeling that that's not something, the timings that they have been working. Instead of
Yeah.
8 hours that they are spending 12 hours kind of thing. And that was taking a toll. So this aspect has led to lot of employee engagement aspects had reduced initially
Okay.
because people were more inclined towards their family duties.
Yeah,
Everyone,
naturally.
everyone had their own home setup kind of a thing, and people were just, they felt that initially I will work only for 1 month or 2 months and kind of thing, and then everything will go back to normal. But now this is almost 1 year now,
Yeah.
and everyone have been working from home. So this situation we cannot adopt to it that there has to be engagement activities when it is considered. Engagement activities is not only about some fun games or some celebrations or something, but it is also involved of the wellness of the employee,
Yes.
the well-being of the whole team bondings, the productivity of the employees, how they have been working, and then a common goal to be achieved of the organization. How we look at it, that's more important.
Yes.
So in these parameters, engagement with employees is very crucial, because when you are in front of a person, it is easier to at least to gauge what you are going through
Yes.
or what is happening with you, or you are there as an in person to help that person to achieve what is being required. When it comes to productivity aspects also, it is there a possibility that someone is stuck up in some work, you can always go onto their desk and talk to them, ask them, or have a conversation with them. But because of the work from home aspect, it is kind of changed totally. And many employees do feel left out. Many employees are under a lot of stress, lot of pressure, and some employees are also enjoying that me time. And the productivity, we cannot expect the same productivity that we had prior to pandemic. We cannot expect the same productivity coming out after pandemic when
No,
people
of
are
course
working from home,
Mm-hmm.
because we all understand, we all have a personal life after office.
Yes.
But now the difference between personal life and professional life has gone totally,
Yes.
and there is just a thin line that you can differentiate that yes, you are working.
So my next question to you is, as someone from the HR industry, how do you think HR technology can help in making these processes more efficient? So, as in the first question that we discussed, we spoke about resume passing and how it has made everybody's job so much easier. So, how do you think that in the long run, of course with this pandemic, but of course in the long run, how do you think HR technology can make HR processes more efficient?
The technology has brought the world closer, and if you look at the current trends or current softwares or any kind of apps and all, it has been just not a part of one aspect of it, but it has been a part of everything that we are doing in our life. Let it be food, let it be health, let it be entertainment, let it be any other aspect towards it. So technology has been a game changer right now in today's world. And why should the HR aspect of it should be left behind,
Yeah.
right? So if you look at the past history, as I told you earlier, when resume parsing was one aspect of it, but now it has been like you just need to have a database, and through that the data aggregation is being done, and it can scan through such kind of softwares, can scan through hundreds of and millions of resumes in one go and give you the best out of it.
Yes.
So it is involved in sourcing, it is involved in even interviewing the candidates, it is involved in scheduling the aspects of it, and also when it is looking at the video interviews, the online tests are been coming across towards it, and resume specifically reading the resumes even to that, and even giving you insights about what colleges they are from, what companies they are from, also coming under the background verification aspects of it.
Mhm.
If you look at AI, artificial intelligence coming into different aspects of the HR functions. It can be also in blockchain is also been a part of it
Yes,
right now.
yes, yes.
So blockchain is still coming up. It is not yet there, but some companies have been involved into it. Now, if you ask me how technology is changing towards it, I'll give you a small example of L'Oreal. L'Oreal had used a particular software.
Mhm.
When they found that there are a lot of companies, uh, uh, sorry, a lot of candidates were there, and the candidate experience for them was mattering a lot. The reason behind this was when they found out that these candidates also were a part of their customer database. So, for an example, if I am a customer of any company, right, I am purchasing their product, and if I am not having a great experience applying to that company, I might change my perception about that product.
Yes.
I might change my way how I feel about that product.
Yes.
So there is 100% revenue loss for that company when it comes to this aspect. So when L'Oreal did that kind of a research, it was like almost 17% of their UK customer base were also some of the candidates that had applied for the job.
Mhm.
So for them, the candidate experience made the bigger aspect towards it. And I also feel that candidate experience is the most important aspect when it comes to any other relative term in the talent acquisition, because that's where the journey starts with. So if any candidate is good, happy with the kind of interactions, the kind of way you are treating the particular candidate, they are highly impressed with the company's processes and all. They will recommend you. They would want to join your organization, and they would want to stay with you for a longer time. So this is the kind of aspects when it comes to technology. Chatbots are coming in picture, right? So it was very difficult for a human being to remember hundreds of candidates and to schedule everyone's interview on time, and to make sure that what this person would like, what this person would not like. It was very difficult at that moment. But chatbots, and because of the softwares, you can capture all that data in one place together, and it can implement throughout the life cycle of the recruitment or the candidate journey from the beginning till the exit of that particular candidate from the organization.
Okay, so I actually do fully agree with everything that you just spoke. And not just from this response, but also from everything that we've discussed about HR and how its nature has changed because of the pandemic. I feel like in the future, going ahead with HR in order to strengthen HR as a department, I'm sure that HR technology is definitely going to be the need of the hour. So,
Absolutely. People is what organizations should invest in,
absolutely.
and for the people, what is best for them is what we need to invest
Yes, absolutely. So moving on to the last question of this interview.
in.
Do you have a quote that defines your feelings best towards the workplace, the future of work, and you?
Yeah. So if you ask me as an HR or me as a person, as I said, I'm more of a people person, and most of the times people in HR are always trying to sell jobs, but I don't sell jobs. I sell them dreams and a path to achieve it through career opportunities. Because I always feel that if someone is happy in doing what they are doing, or they are loving it while they are doing it, so the productivity, the commitment, the involvement of that particular person will be very, very high.
Absolutely.
And it is not only gonna create an atmosphere for themselves, but people surrounding them, everyone they are touch basing with, and everyone they are looking at, or people looking at them, everyone will be inspired through it. I always feel as a person, it's more HR department, or HR are the people like parents, who take care of their children, who want to give the best to the children, who want to give the best to for their well-being, who wanna upbring their kids in a proper manner, and also making sure that what their budget is, how much they can spare, what to extent they can do, what extent they can contribute or sacrifice. So in the same way, HR is for all the employees. So HR is a more aspect is related to humans again, and it is more involved with sentiments, more involved with the people, more involved with their well-being, and what are their likings, what are their aspirations, where they want to go ahead in their career, what is it that can make them happier or joyful in whatever work they have been doing. So look at this in such a way that the whole 24 hours, right? What is your time that you spend with your active brain?
Mhm.
The 9 hours of your office hours is what you spend the highest, right?
Yes.
Whereas prior to that 3-4 hours you'll be doing your daily routines. After your office again you'll be doing your daily routines, sometime with your family and sometimes the family in the morning and in the evening. So the rest of the 9 hours in between, the major part of the day, is where we contribute into our organization. And if that environment is not happier, if that environment is not something which you want to, which you are enjoying, or which you are not breathing in a way where you are freely thinking of it, where you are trying to contribute towards a bigger goal, then it can affect towards your whole life, how you are thinking, how you are operating, what you are doing. So I feel organizations need to heavily invest, not only in terms of finances, but also in terms of commitment, in terms of understanding the people, in terms of giving a career path towards the employees, and making sure that they are happier, they are enjoying, they are developing their skills, they are learning new terminologies, they are upscaling themselves, and trying to contribute towards the whole organization and towards their individuality as well. Irrespective, they stay with you for whatever term. It can be short term, it can be long term, or any other aspects. But important is the time they are there with you. That time has to be a wonderful experience that as an organization we can give to all our employees, or even our candidates, or even our customers.
Absolutely.
The way we look at our customers is, everywhere it has been said, customer is God, right? So I always believe to reach to God, we need our people who trust in us, right? So we need to have that kind of harmony between our employees, and the way we treat them, the way we want to reach higher scales, or organizations to scale up to different new heights. So we definitely need to be all thinking from the employee perspective as well.
Absolutely. So with that, you've given us a lot to think about, and I don't think we could have ended this interview on a better note. So thank you so much, Abhijit, for giving us your time and sharing your knowledge with us today. It was an absolute pleasure having you over at Leaders Hub.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you very much. It was wonderful for calling me. Thank you.
Thank you.